Sounds good.
All right. And with that, it's at 3 minutes after the hour. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. We have a little bell here, fellas. All right. And I'm just looking around quickly. I don't see that we have any guests on camera, but if there is someone, forgive me. We're all Rotarians on this call. I can see the names. As we do with every meeting, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to unmute your mic. I can click through if you need it, but we'll just try to stay in cadence here. So the 4-way test of the things that we think, say, and do. Is it the truth?
Truth.
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Woohoo!
All right. And again, I don't see any guests, and we're going to do an introduction for Scott and Pepper here in a second. But there are no other guests. Just by way of introduction, Scott and Pepper, we were talking a little bit about where we're from. So just pointing out a couple of things here. We don't even have to use names, but we're Melbourne, Coco, Vera, Coco, Melbourne. And I see Alana and Ailish. I don't know Alana physically if she's there, but Alana and Ailish are Irish by nationality. Kimberly, Kim, you're in Virginia still, is that right?
Berkeley Springs, West Virginia.
West Virginia, sorry. And then Gael is Southern France. So just by way of introduction for you two fellas, that's where we're joining from today. And then what we do is we record these meetings. And so one of the really cool parts about this process is we'll then take these recordings and we'll put them back up on YouTube. And so immediately after this, when Zoom recording is done, I'll post it to YouTube, and then you can watch these videos. We can see the hits, you can see the views later. So people are actually watching these after the fact as well. Announcements. I'm going to pause here for a second and see if anyone has anything for the good of the order for the entire club that you want to make a quick announcement for.
Well, I want to shill for RLI again. If you haven't signed up for RLI, it's down in Boca, right, Jula?
That is correct.
And it's really a wonderful way to meet Rotarians from the district and to learn about Rotary. And Jula and I are both going to be discussion leaders, so that should make it even more enticing.
Absolutely.
All right. Any other announcements?
Sam, have we announced the district conference recently?
I did, but by all means, if you want to share again, that'd be great.
Okay, so the district conference is going to be held in Melbourne, actually over on Beachside. It is October 20th through the 23rd, I believe are the exact dates. We're going to have a House of Friendship there. So if you need Rotary gear, it's a good place to pick up shirts or whatever you might want to grab. Also in the House of Friendship, clubs are going to be able to display projects. So if you want to see what's going on and what clubs are doing, that's a great place to see what's going on. That's perfect. Thank you, Sam.
And if you haven't already seen it, Susie did send out our newsletter. So take a look at the newsletter for this week if you haven't already viewed it. And those announcements and those invites are there for you as well. All right. With that, I have my sergeant and my backup sergeant out today. So I'll make it quick and easy today. Let's start with birthdays and anniversaries. Birthdays and anniversaries.
Nobody?
Nope.
Nobody?
And,
okay.
Just to fill Scott and Pepper in on how we collect fines, it's on a, in the old club, you'd wave your dollar or whatever, and someone will go around and collect it. We just do it on an honor system, and people just, once every quarter or whatever, they just send money into the treasurer. So we can use multiple ways to access it via what Zelle, PayPal,
Venmo,
write a check,
So it works pretty good. All right, and then I'll move on to, let's do sad. Or Julia, you have your head up?
Oh, no, I'm going to do for happy. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I jumped the gun.
Sad. We got to end on a high note. So let's do sad bucks. Any sad bucks?
No.
That's great.
I have a sad buck, Sam. I want to put one in.
Okay.
And people may vary their opinion on it, but Gorbachev, the death of Gorbachev is for the world.
Goodness, yes, yes, I agree with you. Yeah. All right. I see Ailish has your hand up. Ailish, you have a sad buck?
Yes, I do. I have a sad dollar, and I know that this is not very sporting of me, but I was sad to see that Serena Williams missed out on the US Championship. I just hoped I hoped she'd have won it, and she didn't. She's just a remarkable woman, and that made me sad.
Yes, it feels weird. Kind of the end of an era. It's strange.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do happy bucks. I can start one off. So I'm doing my Scott and Pepper. I'm doing my Venmo. Happy bucks. Hit and paying to Kathleen. Just that easy. So super easy. And then my happy bucks for me is I survived not one but 2 van loads of IKEA this long weekend. So I had a day of labor. I did 3 closets and a dresser. So my little boy's closet, my wife's closet, 3 closets and a dresser, and my van was sagging on the way home. So, all right, Mike, I see your hand up.
Yes, I'm a Neanderthal, and I send my $2 by check to our treasurer in Potomac, Maryland, or wherever she is. My 2 happy dollars are, first, on Saturday, my Buckeyes had a great victory over number 5 Notre Dame. And then on Sunday, Man United is continuing their way back. They won 3 straight, and they're up to 5th place, and that was really good. So I will get more money off to our treasurer shortly.
Thanks for sharing. It's sad because Kelly went to LSU, and so Notre Dame had a bad day all around, and Kelly had a bad day for LSU as well. So, Jula.
My happy dollar is because I just got back from 16 days in the UK. Had a fabulous trip, great weather. The only day we actually got rained on was the day we were at Stonehenge. So overall, a good trip, and just had a great time.
Awesome.
Love the UK.
Connie, I see your hand up.
Yes, I actually have 2 happy dollars. First of all, Neil and I will be taking our 3rd session at RLI when it comes up. Yay. And then with Emily, I know she hasn't been present for a while. She's been doing a lot of work, and she has actually made such an impression on the CEO of the company that they have offered her a management position in Chattanooga, Tennessee, or Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Is that remote, or will she have to move?
Oh, she'll have to move. Yeah.
No. Well, that's sad for
So,
you.
I was going to say that's sad for Connie.
oh, okay.
Well-
Yeah, it is kind of sad for me, but she asked me to come help her out for the first couple of weeks to get set up and stuff, find a place and all that good stuff. So I'll
Well, the
still
cost of
see
living
her.
should be better. I hope
Yeah.
the cost of living's better, and it'll be a good spot.
Yep. So now it'll just be a matter of finding out, or where the best place for her to live will be. Because there's really not much available in Gatlinburg itself. That's not vacation rentals. But yeah, she's very excited.
And Jula, I see your hand up again. Do you have another one?
Sorry, I didn't put it down.
No problem. No
There we
problem.
go.
All right. Well, let's see. Any other happy bucks? We had birthdays, anniversaries. We had announcements. We had happy. We had sad. If there are no other. Oh. Heidi?
Yep, I joined late. I wasn't sure if you got to sad dollars yet or if you were just still unhappy, but well, I guess it's a happy sad dollar because Saturday evening I got hit at a red light in my car.
Oh, no.
And I'm okay, and I didn't have my dogs with me. Like, that's a good thing, but my car's not really okay. So happy that everybody's all right, but sad that had to happen.
So sorry to hear that. I hope, and your health is the most important thing. So you're okay. You're not whiplash, anything like that.
No, I was really sore, but my little Subaru Crosstrek fared pretty good against a big Dodge Durango. So I was
Oh, goodness.
I was impressed that the car protected me like that. But I've ordered seat belts for my dogs now because without the seatbelt, I'm pretty sure I would have been, eating the steering wheel. So
I've never seen seatbelt for dogs. If you if you put them on, you're gonna have to share a picture. I'm interested.
yeah, they make them with harnesses and stuff. One of them's an Australian Shepherd, and my dad's like, "Yeah, I want to see you," and you put Sydney in the harness, but
Just put them in a car seat.
yeah, but it was eye-opening to me because usually they're just, I put the seats back and they have the whole back to themselves, and I think they would have gone flying and possibly, been injured. So yeah,
Goodness. Well, we're glad you're okay.
thank
Glad
you.
you're okay. Well, with that, we need to. Oops, sorry. Let me close this out here. We need to give over the mic to our speakers, Scott and Pepper. So, Pepper, I didn't see a bio, so I apologize if you sent one over beforehand. No problem. No problem. But would you guys like to introduce yourselves, and then you'll have the rest of the time for the meeting, and we'll get to questions and whatnot after that.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Sam. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for inviting us. I am Scott Yoakum.
And I'm Pepper Pettit.
And it's an honor to be with everybody here today. And just our quick bios. Again, our bios are, hey, we're Scott and Pepper, and we bleed Rotary blue. We like to coin the phrase that we're not just in Rotary, Rotary's in us. We've both been past presidents of our club. We've served on the district level now for about 10 years as our membership chairs. And for the past 3 years, we were on the zone membership team, and we're passionate about membership, and we understand the value of membership in clubs. And thank you for inviting us. And Pepper and I actually met in Rotary a dozen years ago. Today, I can actually say I met my best friend in Rotary, and he's my business partner. So you talk about a Rotary journey, and as we talked about, it's about the relationships we build. Pretty lucky to have Pepper as my business partner and very good friend that I met because of Rotary. This is Pepper right here. And I'd just like to have a happy buck for you, Pepper. Pepper got a haircut, Sam, just for today, so he'd look good on video for everybody. So thank you, Pepper, for that.
Hey, everybody.
Is that fair? Is that fair to all concerned?
I look at it this way. Hey, I got a face for radio, okay? So I need all the help I can get.
Pepper walked in this morning. He said, "Hey, what do you think of my haircut?" I go, "What?" So
hey, I have to pay my barber finder's fee. What is it?
There you
It's
go.
one of those things.
Anything they need to know about you, Pepper, before we kind of jump in?
Yeah, we'll jump in just a second. I've been in Rotary for almost 15 years, and it's been an interesting career. We taught at Pets. Scott and I did for 5 years before we were ever presidents of a club. We've taught at we taught at just about every different type of training situation that Rotary has. And we've kind of had a backwards journey. We've never been district governors before, but yet we've taught at Getz and we've taught at Pets and a number of other different circumstances. I guess it's because of our passion for membership and what membership means to Rotary. We all know that membership is the number one, both internal and external goal of Rotary last year and also this year. And I'm sure it'll be the number one goal next year, because membership is so very important, not just our existing members, but the possibility of gaining new members. When your club's bigger, you can do more things. You really can. And that's what Rotary does well, doing great things.
Absolutely, Pepper. And not to use our club as a little reference point, but we're here in North Georgia, north of Atlanta, little county of about 23,000 people. And Pepper and I coined a phrase that we've always implemented. We put on our Rotary radar everywhere we go. For people we come in contact with in person, online, people we do business with, friends, people we know from church, fraternity brothers from the past, wherever we bump into somebody, we always have our Rotary radar on. And we always look and say, oh my gosh, he or she would be a fantastic Rotarian. And then when they finally become a Rotarian, we say, hey, Sam, why didn't you ever join Rotary up until now? And Pepper, what's the number one reason we always get?
Nobody asked.
No, nobody asked. I mean, we get it time and time again, and it's the proverbial shame on us. Why didn't we ever ask? Here we have this fantastic organization that we do all these phenomenal things globally and locally, and but we failed to ask somebody, just a simple question. Hey, what do you know about Rotary? Would you be interested in finding out a little bit more? And here's what we do. And Pepper, what's the number one reason why people join Rotary? Number one.
The number one reason why people join Rotary is relationships. They have a relationship with somebody in Rotary. I heard Julia talk about she wanted to get back with her peoples. I mean, relationships are extraordinarily important. The number one reason why people join a Rotary club is relationships they have with fellow Rotarians that are in that club. And the number one reason why they leave a club is they don't have any relationships.
Yeah, especially you guys being an online club, it's critical, as you guys know, to connect the dots with everybody, to make everybody feel. And I can feel the camaraderie and the family atmosphere that you created online here this morning. You can feel it. But Pepper, by them being an e-club, boy, they don't have to have somebody down the street to ask somebody if they want to be in Rotary. The world is your potential recruiting potential for people. Anywhere you know somebody in the world, they can join your club. We're limited to basically the confines of our little county here, 23,000 people.
No question about it. And according to the Chamber of Commerce, we have an interesting problem in Dawson County where, people just don't stay. We have the most transient county in the state of Georgia. So we're constantly recruiting because we're going to have an attrition factor of about 15 to 20% every year, no matter what, because people move away. There's not many middle management positions in Dawson County. We face some interesting challenges that, guess what, you all don't face.
No.
Sam, we talked about it the other day. You have a reach that could be absolutely incredible.
Well, coming out of COVID, Pepper, I mean, Zooms became the norm. People got used to connecting with people online where, 3 years ago, whatever, they didn't do that. Now people, it's an accepted way to communicate and build relationships with people.
But if you look at it, think about being able to present yourself as the eco-friendly cup. Now, first of all, your leaf footprint is incredible. I mean, that's an identity all its own. It is awesome. And that will help you make that reach. But there are a number of people that would join Rotary if they found a club like yours. And that's factual. I mean, we see it from the data. First of all, you have a passion already established. Second of all, you've done programs of this nature. You have a tight-knit group. I mean, you have a lot of things going for you that we've just seen since we've been on this call.
Absolutely, Pepper. And a lot of times we'll talk to people in Rotary and people say, oh, get 10 people, get 5 people. Our battle cry is what, Pepper? Do you know what?
Do you know one person that would be just as good a Rotarian as you?
Not 10, not 5, 1. And make that person your personal mission. It may not be the right time of their life, may not be the right season of their life. Their job and things that we all know, and family and reasons that it's not the right time, but we never know until we ask. And so when we go around the clubs, Pepper and I have spoke to over 300 clubs in person. One of the things that we always do is we hand out index cards, Sam, and we have them write down their one person. And they're not doing it for us to turn into us or the membership share. They're doing it for themselves. So they're making an affirmation to themselves saying, hey, who's my one person? And now every time they talk to that person or bump into that person online or however they know that person, it gives them just a little bit of a pain. Say, Joe was my one person. Darn it, I haven't asked him or her to find out more about Rotary, join us on a call or join us on some of the things that we're doing. And so we can put that challenge to everybody here. Write down your one person who you think would be a great addition to your club. And when you do that, you start to think like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of him or her. If you want to write down 3 or 5, that's great. But Pepper, what would happen? Here we are, some of the statistics that are talk about sad but true. Here we are at 1.2 million people. And as we all know, Rotary 15, 20 years ago had 1.2 million people. But the other statistic that we always cringe at is what percent of Rotarians ever sponsor a new person?
Less than 10% of all Rotarians, as long as they are Rotarians, ever sponsor a single person to join Rotary. Think about that. I mean, we are the greatest organization of its type in the world. There is no question. We have a seat on the UN. The things we do for our now 7 avenues of service are absolutely incredible. And when you think about the amount of money that we run Rotary with compared to what we give to our communities and worldwide, it's absolutely incredible compared to the other major charities. And that's why we're ranked so high in Charity Navigator. But I mean, if you think about it, what we've done is broken it down to the lowest common denominator.
Absolutely.
Each person bring one person to your club on a Zoom call to see what's going on. Because I can tell you right now, it is really hard to get contagious on a Zoom call. It is really difficult. You all do that. I saw it. Susie started talking, Julia started talking,
Yeah.
and guess what? You could see what was happening.
No, and you can build the relationships and connections online. And so think about it, Pepper, if we were a club of 25, if everybody made it their own personal battle cry during Sam year of being president, over the next 12 months, each person in the club's mission is to find their one person, Pepper. What would happen now? All of a sudden, the club size has doubled from 20 to 25 to 50. I had to go to my calculator to do
That's
that,
all right.
Pepper.
I understand. I have to do that too. But if you think about it, you've got some ammunition that a lot of clubs don't have. Think about a person that each one of you, that has a passion for maybe doing something eco-friendly as a project. Ask them to come help you do that particular project that they're interested, that particular project that's their passion. Ask them to come
We need your
to
help.
your Rotary
We
Club.
need your help.
Yeah,
We can't do it without you.
the biggest thing you can say to another person is, Julia, I need your help. I cannot do it without you. And I know you've heard that before. I mean, it's disarming to people, but look at if you put that together with the reach you have, and we have talked to net-based clubs, and I want to tell you something. You've got a couple things going on that kind of make you above the crowd in Rotary. The fact that you've planted your flag with green. And remember, that's our new avenue of service. And not many clubs, especially internet clubs, have got a situation like yours. You could be you could lead the band. You really could. And besides that, it's extraordinarily timely. It's extraordinarily, let's say, wishful thinking for a lot of young people under age 40. They're looking for a place because they got a lot of choices, but they're looking for a place that's thinking about eco-friendly projects.
Well, and like Sam said, this is his generation. His generation is online, and they're used to doing everything online and communicating online. And so it's just a natural, again, the age-old problem with Rotary is how do we attract younger people? Well, you guys have the vehicle to attract younger people easier than the traditional club that meets at 7:30 in the morning. We try to get young people to come to a club. Here, you guys have the built-in apparatus already in place. Now it's just a matter of us to go out and start asking one by one. The most valuable thing that the new person brings to your club, besides their enthusiasm and their ideas and everything else, is they have a network of people too, Pepper, of
Yes,
other
they sure do.
people that they can ask. And
I have a question that we didn't ask.
what's that?
I'd like to ask the whole group here. How many of you are members of the membership committee of your club?
See a show of hands up there?
Can I see a show of hands?
Anybody? It's kind of a trick.
The trick
I think
question,
we're all members, aren't we?
yeah. How many of y'all are members of your membership committee for your club?
We
Look
all
at-
are.
Susie's laughing.
It's again.
It's everybody.
And
is.
so many times we'll say, well, Sam's the president or so-and-so's our membership chair.
I lost Julia on that one.
There you go. Dang it, she fell out of her chair, I think, Pepper.
Yeah, she's laughing at me.
It's everybody's responsibility, but so many times we don't think that that's one of the things that we need to do as Rotarians. and that's that statistic we talked about earlier of only 10% of all people. But boy, we can make this pretty simple. Would it great to have a vehicle to say, hey, we're going viral, but look at other vehicles that are online and that are out there, and how once somebody hears the message and you guys post it on YouTube, we might, somebody might stumble on this message and say, hey, Rotary does fantastic things. As we know, we're still a well-kept secret. When we ask people, we assume that they know who we are and what we do. They probably still don't. They might have heard of the brand of Rotary, but they really don't have an idea of how powerful we are and how powerful the network is. And by them joining your club of 25 people, they're locking arms with 1.2 million people that have similar passions all around the world. If they want to make a difference on eco-friendly basis, and that's their passion, as Pepper says, boy, look what they now have at their fingertips, an instant army of people to do phenomenal things with and through. And that's the power of Rotary. And, and then at the end of the day, you start to say, wow, I'm one little person here, and wherever I'm at in the world, but I can make a difference from the comfort of my own home now. And that's the power of having an online club, the power of having the Rotary Army at your fingertips globally to say, here's what we want to do. And like we tell people, we just had somebody new join our club, and they have a passion about something that we had never considered. Bring us your passion, as Pepper said, and we'll dovetail into what you're doing. And if it makes sense and cohesive with our direction and what we believe in, boy, bring it on. Again, back to the biggest problem is, why don't we ask Pepper? I mean, what are we afraid of? I mean, what's the worst thing that they could say is maybe no?
Well, smarter people than us have said this. There are 4 reasons why people don't ask. One is fear. They're fearful that somebody is going to say, no, I don't want to do that. They really are. At least that's what experts say. Or they're fearful that their club is going to turn them down. I see Susie laugh again. But I mean, people are fearful of all kinds of things. And, that's one of the reasons why people don't ask somebody to maybe come help them with a project or be involved in Rotary or maybe get on a Zoom call. They don't ask because they don't want to be turned down, or they don't want the club to say, no, we don't want that person. And they get their feelings hurt. The other reason is apathy. I don't have to do that because Susie's going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I see her right now. She's going to do it. And
I
so,
used to say at our old club, people would say, well, don't you have to be asked to join? I'm like, yeah, we're real picky. It's like, oh, you got a pulse? Even if it's a bit thready, we'll still take you, at that point.
how many people
we're still
Susie,
that way.
you met that got a heart for service? Really?
Yeah.
There are a lot of them out there. And the easiest way to find out whether, a person has that service heart is to say, hey, Susie, I need your help. I can't not do this without you. Let me tell you what it is, and you tell me what you think. And I'll tell you what, it gets it started.
Yeah. I mean, in the old Rotary, nothing against the old Rotary because it's always been successful, but boy, you have to be president of the bank or president of the university. The first box that we look for is, as Pepper said, do they have service above self in their heart? If somebody has service above self in their heart, boy, they're going to be a great fit for you folks and everything that we're doing. So then those people out there just looking for an avenue to make a difference in. Everybody wants to make a difference, but boy, there's so many things going on, and there's so many different, inundated with this and that, and then life intervenes, and they don't do it. And the last reason, Pepper, people procrastinate, don't they?
Yeah, they procrastinate.
I'll do it
I was
next
going to do that, but I can do it next
I
week,
can do it
or
next
I
week.
can do it 2 weeks from now, or something of that nature. There's also one other thing, isn't there?
Oh, that you suffer from?
Yeah, I suffer from this. I really do. Sam, I'm really bad about, getting diverted. What do they call it?
Well, you have squirrel syndrome.
Yes. Oh, squirrel. Oh, yeah. Okay. I just wander off. Okay. That happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
And there's one thing that cures all 4 of those things.
Yeah, it's action, folks.
And aren't we people of action?
Make a commitment to yourself to say, dang it, this is the year I'm going to ask Joe or Sally or Tom or whomever to get on a Zoom call to come and find out a little bit more about who we are and what we're doing. And again, wherever they live, an old friend from high school that's moved across the country now, you folks can invite them into your club. It gives you an opportunity to connect with people. I mean, why was Facebook so, for a long time, so phenomenally successful? It gave people an opportunity to connect with people they hadn't talked to and get them back in their lives. This is the same thing. This gives us an opportunity to connect with people who we know who they are, we know who their heart is, but now this gives us a reason to ask them and to go back. So don't limit your scope to just who you know right now. Go back in your archives and say, dang it, I knew Pepper 15 years ago, and he's always been involved with a lot of different things to make a difference. I need to reach out to Pepper, and he's my one person on my list that I'm going to talk to, darn it. And I'm not going to let another day go by that I don't reach out to Pepper and tell him why I'm so excited about this thing that he's probably never heard of called Rotary. But I never know until I ask Pepper. And guess what? Pepper just might say yes. Imagine that.
A new thing, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people do say yes when you ask, but I want to reiterate something that I found out just by being on this call, okay? We've been to over 300 clubs, and we do takeaways where we take away more than we probably deliver each time we go to those clubs, because that's where it's happening. That's where you see the energy. That's where you see the action.
That's where all the good ideas are, Pepper.
That's where all the good ideas are. We're giving you some ideas that we learned from different clubs. They're not Pepper's and Scott's ideas. We just take something that we see that's really working and we try to tell everybody about it. But your club's got something unusual happening. And I'm just going to say it. You know how to engage people the way you're doing it. I don't know, you've built relationships with people on the web.
Yeah, and you make them feel like they're included.
Make them feel like they're right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can reach out and touch some of y'all right now. Now, maybe you wouldn't want that, but that's how I feel. George is looking at me kind of confused, like, who is this person? But you know what I'm trying to say. And people have said this to your club before, that you're rather engaging. This is a very difficult process that you all have achieved great success in, because I can see it right now.
Yeah. Pepper, we like to look at it. The members of the club are our customers. When somebody new joins a Rotary Club, and not a customer in a sense that, boy, that we're looking at them with dollar signs, a customer in a sense that, boy, are their dreams and why they joined Rotary being fulfilled. And it's up to us to make sure they find their niche in our club, in our online club. The minute somebody new joins your club, it's their club as much as any of the founding people of the club. And it's up to us, as if you guys are going to grow and we reach out to these new people, that they feel the sense that give them a job right away, give them an activity that they're going to collect the happy bucks or the sad bucks, and make them feel like, hey, these are my people now. These are my peoples. You got more people. And as we go through this thing called life, folks, we are designed to interact with other people, build relationships with other people. And Rotary is the conduit that does that. And give them an opportunity. We can now have friends all across the country, all across the world. We're global, obviously, and what you folks are accomplishing already. And I wish I had a magic wand to say, boy, you guys have the ability probably to get to 50 people, more than the little local club that's already at 25. And
I said that to Sam the other day.
In small town America, they have challenges, that little small club in small town America, that there's thousands of Rotary clubs just like that. You guys have a global outreach and the power of the internet right now at your fingertips to go out but it still comes down to that relationship with somebody you already know. Yeah, we'd love to fish with people we don't know. And yes, we can find people that, they run across us or see us on YouTube, and then we get to know them and build a relationship. But boy, let's start the Rotary relationship on a firmer, more lasting basis from the get-go, because we already know them, Pepper.
That's right.
We already have a relationship with these people. And we bring them into the fold, and there's more stickiness, isn't there? I mean,
you asked the question, how'd you like to make a difference? And don't just brag about Rotary. Find out about them. Find out what their passions are. Make them your passions too. You don't think they'll join your club? You betcha. And with that leaf footprint, let me tell you something, you're right where everybody wants to be.
Yeah,
You really are.
And you folks, a lot of you have had the advantage, you're in a traditional club in the past. Think about some of the folks that were in your traditional club, but for whatever reason, that wasn't their home, or they didn't find their passion in Rotary, then they left Rotary for a reason or another. Go back to your archives and think of, oh my gosh, I was in Rotary with Sally 25 years ago in this club. Boy, I need to reach out to her. She would join a club like this in a heartbeat. It just wasn't the right time, or the dynamics weren't right in the club that he or she was in. Go back to prior Rotarians. I think that's a great resource to find your one person. Because those people are out there and they're like, wow. And they already know you, bless you. And they already trust you. I could tell you.
Too much pepper.
Yeah, too much pepper will make you sneeze.
Never too much pepper.
So, how much more time do we have, Sam? We can open up to questions and discussion. I feel like Pepper and I don't like to preach to people. We like to interact with people. And that's why, again, if we were in person, but we are interacting, but we want you folks to have input on what we're talking about and saying as well. So,
yeah, we got 20 minutes, Scott and Pepper, to talk through this. And I really want to turn this around and make this a discussion for the group.
Yeah.
We actually talked about this on
We do too.
our board of directors meeting. Yeah. Yeah. So Mike, I see your hand up, but by all means, after Mike.
Couple questions. Our club has talked about coming up with basically a business card that would have our Zoom info, because if you meet somebody on the street, if you don't have a card that has the name of your club, when you meet, and how to find us on Zoom, I think it's difficult. And we've not gotten very far with this idea. And I wondered, do you hand out cards?
Yes, we hand out the Rotary card, which you've seen. There's several variations. And then we hand out not Rotary cards, but we hand out our personal business cards. Now, for what you want to do, if you could print up a card, it probably wouldn't be that expensive. It would give the Zoom information on the front, and then explain to them a little bit that it's Rotary. And then on the back of the card, have that leaf footprint. Now, this is just an idea, and I'm just thinking about this, but I think that would be pretty dynamic. But the card you want that card to be so, all right, I'm going to use a crazy word, so cool that somebody is going to put it in their wallet. They're not going to put it in their pocket. You know what I'm trying to say, don't you? I mean, they keep it. And I've seen those type of cards before.
yeah, and here's the problem, as we know. I hand Pepper a card and he gets a business card. And we all know this from business or anything we've ever done. Pepper may or may not show up. The best way to get Pepper to the meeting is to bring him to the meeting. So when you do that, I would say, hey, 5 minutes before, Michael, call that person back and say, hey, we talked about last week. Is this going to be drip on them a little bit? And it may not be the right time. They have a board meeting or this meeting, or they can't make it this week. But it's all about the touches. It's all about you building that relationship. People want to buy. They don't want to be sold. You let them buy. So many times in Rotary, we get too excited and we want to find out and tell them everything fantastic we're doing. We flip the script on, don't we, Pepper? We want to find out who they are. What, as Pepper used the word passion multiple times here this afternoon, find out what they're interested in, and then see what
And they will love to tell you.
and they will.
And if you can't do it at that time, follow up is extraordinarily important. Now, the way we have to follow up is we're taking somebody to lunch, or we're picking up the phone, or we're meeting them someplace, or we're asking them to come on a service project. Think of y'all's advantage. Okay? That's a lot of, I guess, footwork.
Heavy lifting, yeah.
Heavy lifting. You all don't have to do that, but it's that first impression. And I love, Michael, I love the
Yeah,
business
I
cards.
do too.
It really, if you can get a club card that everybody can use, and it has the information, but I think you've got an example, don't you? But
I have a follow-up then. Are you in or near, is your home club near Dahlonega or Dawsonville?
We're in
We're in
Dawson.
Dawsonville. So Dawson, it's a
Okay,
Dawson.
and I know Dahlonega, but here's an issue we have. And 8 of us used to be in the Indialantic Club, and we had the same issue. How many blacks are in your club?
We're pretty diverse. We have 3. You got to understand, look at where Dawsonville is. You're familiar with it.
Yeah, I know where I live too. It's the same situation.
We're probably the most diverse club in our entire district. I want you to think about what I just said.
We're great with women.
Yeah. Huh?
The Indialantic Club, we were 50% women, and they were wonderful.
We're
And
not that.
this club here, I think, is probably more than 50%
More than
women.
half women.
Have been women, and
Yeah, our last 4
we're
presidents.
probably 40% women
We're,
now.
we're getting close to 40% women. I think what's more important is we have a number of different cultures represented in our club. And I want to tell you something. Did we push it? No,
No.
we let it happen organically because there are good people out there, and Rotarians come in many, many flavors.
We did a promotion where we had a snow cone machine, and we handed out a bunch of different flavors of snow cones, and that we had a little sign that said Rotarians come in all sorts of flavors. But we didn't push the, here, go get one of this or one of that. What we pushed was cultural understanding. We had the Italians in our club stand up and talk about their culture. We had the Irish people, Polish people, whoever, because it's about cultural understanding. It isn't about diversity and equity and inclusion. It's about understanding everybody's culture. And at the point we tried to make is they had to name 5 things that they liked about their culture, that they learned from their culture, they'd like to share with us. And at the end of the day, we all realized that we're all the same. God made us all the same. We're wired on the
But
inside the same.
we have members that are from India, members that are from Pakistan,
Jamaica.
And I want to tell you something. We have people from various, communities with different sexual preferences. And you don't want to know something? I am so proud of the club because they're blind to that.
Yeah,
It's
what's in their heart.
it's what's in their heart. But that's what we've emphasized. We also have a gentleman that has come to speak to us several times, and Derek is remarkable about how he approaches this.
Well, and we approached it. This is kind of fun. We're a breakfast club, so when he came to talk to us, we were going to make omelets that day. So it was like, we had a chef in there, and we had all these different ingredients for the omelet. We had bacon, and we had ham, and we had onions, and we had peppers, and we had 50 different ingredients. And we were cooking, and we were throwing all these different things like Julia Childs into these omelets. And then we were cooking up the omelets. And the point we're trying to make, the omelet tastes better with a lot of different flavors, and it doesn't it? And we passed out the omelet to everybody. And point was taken. We didn't need to say a word about diversity. We didn't need to say a word about here's what we're doing. Everybody got it. The omelet tastes better with a lot of flavors in it. And we handed out, who wants a plain scrambled egg? And nobody wanted that. Who wants these omelets? And we had cheese dripping off of them and all these ingredients. And everybody in the club, we served them one of the omelet with all the stuff in it. And
we've done the same thing with a salad, just to demonstrate that a salad tastes better with lots of different ingredients. And a Rotary Club takes lots of different ingredients with very diverse opinions and ideas to be successful.
Especially with these guys being a global club, it's about their culture from Spain or France or India or wherever they're at. But at the end of the day, when we ask the questions, how they're wired, everybody ends up, the answers are always the same, which was incredible.
And what was remarkable about, and we're doing this all over the district, okay? And, Scott and I are very involved in DEI, but
we call it cultural understanding.
Yeah, but I mean, it is amazing. Scott talks about a lot of people being alike, and they are, but it's amazing when people listen to other Rotarians' journey, because when you talk about their culture, it is a journey. Things that affected them and made them the people that they are. And those journeys are remarkable stories. Each one of them has remarkable stories, and they make great meetings. I didn't want to get into
Yeah, no, that was
this, but we approach it. Go ahead, Julie.
I just wanted to build on what you're saying, because to me, I don't think that diversity is necessarily black or white or brown or orange or any other color. And I don't really want a member to join because they're black or white or orange or any other color. I want them to join because they're going to be a good Rotarian,
right.
period. Because that way they're not in that evolving door. And if you're going out and you're looking for just somebody black, just because you want your club to be diverse, that's a very bad thought process, in my opinion.
For us and them, for both parties.
Correct.
It just, but if they have service above self in their heart, and oh my gosh,
Right.
they have passion for something that
Absolutely.
we're doing, check the box all day long, and here's what we're doing, and it's a non-issue. And Pepper used the word organic, and that's probably overused these days, but the people that we have brought in our club that didn't look exactly like us, boy, we don't even, we just see the person that they are now. I mean, we don't, it doesn't even matter, what their background was or what their cultural heritage was, because we see them out there digging a ditch with us, and they're out there doing the same thing we are. They're no longer in Rotary, they have Rotary in them. And that's really, when we can get to that point, Pepper and I use something we call Rotary moments. And some of you on here may have had your Rotary moment. Our goal is to keep somebody in Rotary long enough so they can have their Rotary moment. Pepper, what's a Rotary moment?
It's when you really understand once and for all, something has happened to you in Rotary, doing a project,
District conference,
RLI. Sometime when you understand why you joined Rotary, why you bleed Rotary blue, why you are one of those people that has Rotary in you rather than you just being in Rotary.
And Rotary moment will happen, won't it, Pepper? If we keep you in Rotary long enough, it's not the proverbial if, it's when you have your Rotary moment. And once you have your Rotary moment, and maybe it's happened to some of you folks already, we've had club meetings where people get to stand up and talk about their Rotary moment. And some of the people that are new, they don't quite understand it. But then they see people literally start to cry, and just how passionate they are about this crazy thing called Rotary that they joined. And then they say, oh my gosh, I want to have one of them their Rotary moments. How do I can I go buy one at the store? No, you can't buy it.
But let me throw this one thing out. Everybody you see a lot of publications with Rotary moments in them, and it's about somebody going out to India or Nigeria or Afghanistan or someplace like that. And, they have their Rotary moment there. Well, let me tell you something, over 98% of Rotary moments happen at the club level.
Yeah,
they really do.
Very few people get to go on the international.
That's right.
Put the drops in somebody's mouth. That's a very small percentage.
But you can have a Rotary moment at a club. I've had two, and one was picking up tires and cleaning up trash on the side of the road, and the other was with this guy when I had a tough time because my father died the same day that I was giving away my daughter in marriage. And I couldn't be at the same place at the same time. And I did not handle it well. And I had 16 phone calls from different Rotarians, and they knew I was in trouble. And I had somebody who was less than 6 days from open heart surgery and triple bypass lie on the back seat of his SUV and was driven by his wife down to Orlando to be with me. And he's the guy sitting next to me. And that was one of my Rotary moments. And, it's just, I just didn't handle it well that day, and everybody gave me some tough love, and I needed to just do it.
We're not doing sad bucks, we're on happy bucks.
No, this is a Rotary moment.
I know.
How many people in this group have had a Rotary moment?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be sitting on this call. Everybody's raising it.
Yeah.
And
so our job is the leaders of this club is, when the new people come in, and don't be afraid to talk about your Rotary moment. And they're like, wow, I am part of something much, much larger than myself. I can, little old me, I can make a difference. locally and globally. We say international in scope, but local in service. You guys can be international in scope because you have folks all around the world, and you can find projects and partner. Although you're an e-club, you can partner with local clubs and say, hey, we have an army here. We want to make 1 + 1 = 3 together. How do we do that? Because we want to make a difference. We still want to be feet on the ground. And we know we can make a difference by being feet on the ground. How can, find some sister clubs that are doing something from that are in line with what you folks want to accomplish and what your goals are. I guess, Sam, one of the questions I'll ask you, do we have a membership goal for this year for the club? Have you guys talked about it?
I did. Yeah, I did. I put grow it by 4 this year.
Okay. I mean, that's realistic. That's real. I think you guys can be a little more, my own opinion, a little more aggressive than that. What we have found, and maybe membership is just this simple. You hear all these different things, do this, do that. Once a club has an attitude, I call it the 2 A's, an attitude and awareness that we want to grow and that we can grow, great things happen. It's just an attitude and awareness. And you guys every week, you rib each other and say, hey, Susie, or hey, George, who's your one person? Have we invited them yet? Have a little accountability, and then make that the battle cry for the club and say, darn it, with more people, we can raise more money, we can do more good, and I don't have to be president again in 2 years, if you will, because we have a larger club, and we can do more things. And so make it a battle cry of your presidency this year and say, I know our initial goal was 4, but darn it, I think, number one, you want to keep everybody that's in the club. You don't want to lose anybody. But that's, as Pepper said, attrition is a reality. But number 2, you want to say, we can grow by 10 this year. I don't think that's outrageous, especially being an e-club, because your reach is the globe and your reach is every single person that's in every one of your databases, Sam.
Can I throw one thing else out?
And we're not trying to tell you what to do, because we're careful not to tell a club what to do, but just our own.
This came from a club down in Florida, and Palm Beach Club. And it made an impression on me. We've used it time and time again. It's also in our initiation to Rotary when we induct people. And it's used probably by 100 clubs just in the state of Georgia. Service above self is basically 2 things. Service to our community, service to, the world, but it's also service to our fellow members. We've got their back. They're part of our lives. We're part of their lives.
The proverbial Rotary family. I know that's
Rotary family,
but it's real.
You all got one. And let me tell you something, you can use that to recruit new people. You really can. They get on a Zoom meeting, they've been on plenty of Zoom meetings. And let me tell you something, this one's different. Tell your stories, because your stories are relatable. And, we've been on a lot of Zoom calls. This is kind of homespun Zoom. I'm just telling you, it feels like it. Okay? Laugh at me, Susie.
My favorite part of this call, Pepper, was before Sam hit record, and we were just talking about a little bit of the history of the club and where everybody came from and their Rotary story and their Rotary journey. That was, to me, if I was an outsider looking in, fantastic to hear how we arrived at this moment in time and where we all came from, to say, here's who we are. Because what do people buy, Pepper?
They buy people. They don't buy stuff. They don't buy ideas. They don't buy dreams. They buy other people. Relationships are so important to human beings. If you look at it, it's interesting how Rotary keeps saying engagement, engagement, engagement. You want to engage somebody? Build a relationship with them. It's engaging. It really is. And the fact that you all have done it on Zoom and being, you're talking to people on the phone and you're able to build relationships. You're talking to them. It's amazing to me.
There's probably people in your club that you folks have never met in person, I would assume, in there so far. But you feel like you know them, don't you, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to know better. And I genuinely want to know better. Yeah.
Get to know them and continue to. And Pepper, I use a phrase. I know there's people in my Rotary Club that has my back. And when we go through this thing called life, how many people do you really know that really has your back? And Pepper and I will make a list of our Rotarians and say, oh my gosh, we have 25, 30 people just in our club that I know has my back. I mean, I've gone through my whole life and I haven't met 25, 30 people that has my back. What was I doing wrong? And then I stumbled on this thing called Rotary, and I know there's people there that have my back. Wow, what an organization. So I know we're probably running out of time. Any last comments or questions that Pepper and I can answer before we?
Or might not be able to answer, but we'll look it up.
I just want to unmute my mic. Can you hear vacuuming right now, or is it okay?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure you can't hear a really loud vacuum. It sounds loud to me, but I don't know if it's loud for everyone else. But yeah, I really appreciate this, and I hope that we can keep the conversation going in email, because I'd love to know more. Like I'm just thinking out loud right now. I'm thinking about, what are the specifics? Like we've talked on these calls about here's some things we've been doing on social media. Here's some ways we can connect with other people. Here's the way we can grow our footprint. But thinking about the specifics, sometimes the devil's in the details. It's like we've got to really be, I'm
Sam, did you hear me? Your bulletin is awesome. We briefly saw it, okay? But it's awesome.
Susie, thank you, Susie. Thank you so much, Susie. Susie's the master.
You'll probably be surprised how many people, I mean, if you have the capability where that appears every once in a while on YouTube, you'd be surprised how many people will read it or recall it so they can read it.
Well, and again, Sam, the takeaway is don't overcomplicate. Pepper and I jump all over the board, and we're both ADD, and we're thinking this and thinking that. Squirrel. Yeah, we are, as we said earlier. But the reality is, don't overcomplicate it. Just put it on everybody. Do you know one person? And if everybody has their one person on their Rotary radar, then over the course of the next year, they talk to their one person. You're gonna bring in 10 new people accidentally. I guarantee it. And then after you have your one person, go to your next one person. And then everybody, that becomes the mantra. Hey, do you have your one person? And have a little accountability, have a little bit of fun. Don't overcomplicate it, because you already have a relationship with somebody you already know who's your one person. They're already at second base. We just need to ask them and bring them home. So but they already have a relationship with you. They have trust in you and confidence in you. And they already know what all of you are all about.
Scott and Pepper.
Yes, sir.
I have to ask, is Awesome Bill in your club?
He's not been we just had his wife is almost in our club. She comes frequently. Bill's pretty kind of a recluse a little bit now.
Yeah, but Bill is a Paul Harris Fellow.
Yeah, we made him a Paul Harris Fellow.
And
Chase is too.
And Chase has come and spoke to our club twice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and for years until recently, we met at the Racing Hall of Fame, is our place where we met at here in Dawsonville. If you've ever the NASCAR Racing Hall of Fame, I know there's one in Charlotte, but we have our claim to fame here too in the North Georgia Mountains. So,
What day of the week do you all meet?
Thursday mornings at 7:30, and you're welcome to. I think we're doing Facebook.
We're doing Facebook Live
now instead of Zoom. It's just been easier for during the pandemic we didn't meet, and now everybody's come back to our club except for a couple people that have some health issues. And then when people go on vacation or go different parts of the country for the winter or for the summer, they'll Zoom in. But again, it's about the enthusiasm, and you guys have enthusiasm. You hate to oversimplify just the basics and the fundamentals. People come to our club and say, well, that was fun. That was enthusiastic.
Remember, that's the number 5 of the 5-way test.
It wasn't fun. And
have fun.
It's okay to have fun in Rotary. And, when somebody comes to new, like again, visits online, you want them to feel part of the family instantly. And I don't know what you guys do when you have a visitor or a guest,
but touch them some way.
Yeah,
that's a great point for me, because I haven't done that as the PE when I was filling the speaker slots. What I didn't do, and I'm thinking back to the live, when we did live meetings, when I was telling you when I was in Anchorage, we always had a gift, something for them to take away, and then we followed up with them. We would ping them again in a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, say, hey, thanks again for coming to speak. You should follow up. So I'm taking that one to heart. Thank you very much, Scott and Pepper. That's a really good takeaway for me.
Don't you love I mean, it's okay to say, oh my gosh, thank you, you know, and boy, we need you. And
They actually have a name for it in business. It's just called nice touches. And people like
can I write that
nice
down?
little
Pepper?
touches. Yes, write that down.
Okay, thanks, I will.
It's a nice thing to do, to send the newsletter to the speaker where we've done the
Yeah.
write-up on the presentation. I do try to do that. I don't do it on a consistent basis, but I do try to do that to speakers. And I usually try to ask the speaker, they always say, oh, you guys are a great club. We'll come back any Tuesday. We're here at noon. You have the link. It's always the same link. Without, harassing them, but we really should touch them more. Because
follow up.
I mean, there's no reason our speakers can't join.
Yeah, do we have, I wonder about that, Julia, Susie, maybe we could talk about that. I could start an email thread about it. Is there some capacity to do that in DACDB where we could, maybe I can download all the emails of past speakers and put them in our Friends of Rotary group?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
The fact that nobody ever asked them.
Yeah.
One of our speakers
that.
But I think we have to be careful. Oh, sorry, Susie, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Stephanie Lopez, who lives here locally, who was a speaker in June, I think, and she mentioned that she had a real connection to Rotary because I think she was a Rotary Foundation scholar. Something about a scholarship from them. And I've kept her, I continue to email her the newsletter every week, so she's got that sort of touch. And yeah, so I'd love to get her as a member. So I'll try to do that on a regular basis.
Ask her.
I need to reach out to her again and ask her.
And there's no easier way to ask and say, hey, we need your help for what you know and for what we've seen, and thank you for talking to our club. We need your help. We're looking for a few people just like yourself. Would you be interested in learning more about Rotary? And 100% of the time they say sure, don't they? 100% of the time. They may not join, but they'll say sure.
But what's funny is they'll talk to other people about it. They'll talk to other people about your reach out to her. That's what's amazing. It always never say Rotary is one of the few things, and there's statistics from Boston Consulting on this. Rotary is one of the few things that people refer to you and they don't become Rotarians, but they'll refer another person to your Rotary club. And it's amazing.
Hey, Pepper, we've ended up.
I know we're talking too long.
No, we've been Rotary jail before.
Yes, but Julie, we have been in Rotary jail, but I think Julie's got a question. Julia?
I do. I just wanted to follow up on that, on the ask them thing, and how you feel about, like, if you're at a meeting, let's just say you're not a Rotarian, you go visit a club, and during that meeting, somebody says, well, join our club. I'm not sure that's the right way to do it. What do you think?
We flip the script. It's all about them. The only thing we ever say that's the slightest bit pushy, but it's funny, we say, oh, wait a minute, I've got, have you got a pen? I've got a pen right here for you. See it? No, we make kind of a joke, but that's about as far as we go. We don't even talk about Rotary with them. We want to know about them.
As I said before, people want to buy, they don't want to. So let them buy. Let them buy.
Because they will.
They'll see what you guys are doing, and they'll see the passion that all of you have, and they'll say, it's contagious. I want to be a part of that.
See, you got the bottles and the leaf and other things that you do. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't like that? I mean, I'm telling you, you're about 4 steps ahead of us. We talk to a lot of e-clubs, and I'll tell you what, you're about 4 steps ahead because you concentrated on the most topical, trending thing there is. Period.
We have green pens.
Yes, I know. We're very green. I have a Leeds house.
So
y'all know what that is.
Any other questions? It's an honor to talk to your club. Thank you for inviting us. We'll love to come back again, but we look forward to hearing great things from your club. I mean, you guys are awesome. I mean, it's about the people who are in your club, and you guys have a great core and a great foundation, and you get 8-10 people who are committed, and all of a sudden you say, here's what we want to do. You can move a mountain, folks. You really can.
Is it all right if we circulate some of the things that you're doing to people that aren't active in a club?
Please.
But the reason is because they don't want to go to meetings? That's it?
We have a couple people in our club that have recently left Rotary for one reason or another. Not that they didn't love Rotary, but it just circumstances in their life that forced them. So, I mean, you guys are.
I'll forward our newsletter to you. I'm sure you're,
I'd love for you to do
okay,
that.
your email, so.
You all, hey, Sam, you probably already gathered that the person's really in charge is Scott. I just hang on to him and, you know, he has to carry me. So,
He's heavy too.
you know, I'll make sure that you've got Scott's email address and all his contact information. We work as
Thank
a,
you.
but you know, he's in charge.
Pepper likes
Thank
it.
you.
I like it that way.
Thank
So,
you.
Accountability.
You know,
Thank you so much. And in addition to the newsletter, you'll see the link to the YouTube. So you can actually share this video, share this chat if you want to, share this talk with anybody you want to online as well. So fantastic.
I want to get way ahead of everybody else before I share some of these good ideas with anybody. I'm just telling you, okay?
we could put a donate here link on your page. No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody. Thank you, folks.
Bye, John.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go ahead and thank our speakers, Scott and Pepper. Thank you very much. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And with that, we'll close this meeting. I'll hit stop recording. If people want to hang out and socialize, we can. But with this, we'll say our service above self, and we'll close our meeting out. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.